So my name is Clara Summers, and I'm 28 years old, and I'm a friend from Washington State. I sadly do not speak Spanish, but I can introduce myself in Spanish. So, mi nombre es Clara Summers, tengo 28 años, soy de Estado de Washington, Estados Unidos. So, friends, before I start, I am going to talk about the global consumer class, and I want to make sure we all know what that means. So as I understand it, the global consumer class is all of the people worldwide who are able to buy goods and services more than what they need to survive. And we should all recognize that there are big differences between the members of this class. For example, a middle-class American does not consume the same way as a middle-class Indonesian. But it's worth thinking more about the role each of us play in climate change through our lifestyles. So to start off with, I am very motivated by policy and systems change. And for most of my life, I didn't really know how to participate in the policy process. When I was 9 years old, I organized a petition against oil drilling, but it wasn't until I was in college that I learned about lobbying. So for those of you who don't know, in the United States, lobbying is when you meet with an elected official and ask them to support or oppose a policy. And everyone can do it, but not everyone knows that they can. So I was trained to lobby by the Friends Committee on National Legislation, which is a Quaker peace lobby based in Washington, D.C. And learning how to lobby empowered me to follow a career path in climate advocacy. First as an organizer working with religious communities, and more recently as a graduate student studying the links between environment, peace, and conflict resolution. Now I work with US state legislators to develop strong, inclusive climate policy. That all being said, we must have policy change to address climate change. But that's not what I'm going to talk about today with you all. Us youth, we did not create climate destroying systems, but we contribute to them through our lifestyles. We have inherited them. And fundamentally, addressing climate change means changing ourselves. One thing I've noticed as I've worked in climate policy is that we often try to find green ways of living the same way. For those of us in the global consumer class, we like to think it's fine to use all the electricity we want as long as it's from solar, or drive as much as we want as long as the car is electric. And a really good example is meat consumption. As long as we only eat free-range, organic, happy animals, it's okay to eat meat every day, right? But for those of us who have grown up with a capitalist mindset, we think our options should be unlimited. And this is, for me, where the Quaker testimony of simplicity comes in. So we can't expect policymakers to solve all of our problems. Our economic system is harmful and complicated because we live harmful and complicated lives. And to address climate change, we must live simpler lives. One of the ways that my family lives out simplicity for climate justice is through no electricity night. When I was in high school, my mom decided that we could not use electricity after 8 p.m. on Tuesday nights. No phone, no computer, no lights. It is inconvenient. It meant I had to get my homework done early unless I wanted to do it by candlelight, and I shower in the dark. But this weekly practice is also fulfilling. Because we only have so many candles, we cluster in the living room where most of the candles are, and it's too dark to read, so we play games or we play musical instruments together. It's a time of togetherness. I'm under no illusions that no electricity night is going to solve the climate crisis. It's only a few hours once a week. No electricity night is more of a spiritual practice than it is a way to reduce emissions. But the simplicity of being without electricity reminds me that we can do without. It helps me to be comfortable with less. And in using less, it creates more space for us all to be whole. Gracias, amigos. Thank you, friends.